morning. Just waiting to see if anybody joins me this morning for this class. Give it a few minutes. If you are watching, let me know that you're here and grab yourself a chair that preferably doesn't have any arms to it. So just a kitchen chair, dining room chair. Good morning. Just going to give it a couple of minutes to allow other people to join. Let me know if you're joining the class this morning, this Thursday morning seated yoga class. If you are just joining us, make sure that you have a chair to hand that you can use for the practice this morning. It's mainly going to be seated. I'm going to give a few standing options today, but if you prefer to stay seated through the entire class, that's perfectly fine. So if you are just joining us, grab a chair that doesn't have any arms. I'll give it a few moments just to allow people to join for this seated yoga class this morning. Hello, welcome everybody. So give us a wave if you know how to use this technology of ours that we're all becoming slightly more familiar with. Hi, Catherine. Let us know that you're here, and make sure you have a chair. Unless you're just thinking that you might like to do the entire thing standing up today, you could give it a shot. But if you have a chair that you can use, make sure it doesn't have any arms if at all possible. So if you're using your wheelchair or you're sitting in a chair that has arms, you'll still be able to do the class absolutely fine. Welcome to you, and I'll give you options today. I'm going to give a few options today for standing poses as well, just to really spice things up. We'll see how that goes. So it's always your choice, and what I want to say to you all this morning, welcome if you're just joining us, is that you should really listen to your own body. This definitely isn't a competition, and we want to just attune ourselves to our body's needs, physical needs, emotional needs this morning, and do what feels right for your body. So each of us is an individual, and I cannot see you. I don't know what's going on for you in your own body this morning, whether you have any specific injuries or anything that you're dealing with. It's been beautiful, hasn't it, the last few days? So if you are lucky enough to have a garden, perhaps you've been out there digging and you're quite stiff from that, in which case a good stretch is probably what you need. So give it your best shot. But if there is anything that feels painful to you, then don't go into that place of pain. Just ease out of the pose a little, take a gentler form. I will give you options. Or take a complete rest for a moment and then rejoin in when you feel that's right for you. So, welcome everybody. I think we'll make a start. Grab your chair. I'll just go and sit on mine. This is just a really ordinary kitchen chair that I have this morning. And I have a block under my feet. If you feel that your legs are quite comfortably reaching, your feet aren't comfortably reaching the floor, then grab a big book or something to just rest your feet on. Have a think. If you have your shoes on, you might like to take your shoes off this morning. You're probably in your own home, so that should be doable for most of you. But this just allows us to be able to feel the ground beneath our feet. You could even be daring and take your socks off, but if it's a little chilly, keep your socks on. That's fine, and just feel the ground beneath your feet. Just press your feet lightly as you sit here now into the ground. Feel that connection between the bottom of your feet and the ground, or your book, whatever your feet are resting on. Press your toes down, press your heels down, and then allow your feet just to rest there, but still having a sense of that connection. You're sitting in your chair. Sit fairly upright in the chair. So we all know what good posture should look like. So just make sure that you're comfortable, but perhaps have that little gap between your back and the back of the chair so that you're actually just gently holding yourself upright. Allow your shoulders to relax at the beginning of this practice. And we're going to do a little bit of breathing, a breath exercise first before we do a good stretch for the whole body. And then we'll have a little moment of relaxation at the end of the class. So as you begin this class, we've made that connection between the ground and the bottom of our feet. Notice the other parts of yourself which are connecting with anything. So your sit bones, your legs on the chair. Perhaps your hands are resting in your lap and you can feel that connection there. Just drop your chin ever so slightly down towards your chest so that you're looking at the ground in front of you. You might still be able to see me, but if you can't, don't worry, just listen to my voice. Come slightly inward to that inner place of focus. If it helps you to do that and you feel comfortable closing down your eyes gently or really softening your gaze, then do that now as well. And begin to notice how you're feeling as you sit here like this. Each of us will probably be feeling something completely different to the person next to us or anyone else who's practicing with us this morning. It might depend on how your mood is today, how you're feeling physically, how you slept last night, what else is going on in your home, whether there's anybody else around. But begin to draw your attention in particular to your breath. We can use our breath like a bridge from our mind to our body. Just connecting the two together, inviting in calm and a sense of positivity perhaps as well into our practice today, and that focus. So you might like to begin to deepen your breath a little, but just allow your shoulders to relax and your body to feel relaxed even as it's holding itself upright here. So if you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, just have a really soft gaze. Notice where you feel that breath coming into your body. Oftentimes we don't even notice our breath, but quite often we breathe very shallowly, right up around our shoulders, our collarbone, without really taking time to send our breath deep down. And we'll do that now, just mindfully tuning into the belly, that tummy area, just really imagining that our breath is traveling down as the air comes into our body, traveling down into our lower tummy. So if you can today, if it's comfortable for you and you're able to do that, breathe in and out through your nose. If it's not, then don't worry. But it just helps us to keep that inner focus, warming up the breath as it comes into our body. Relax your shoulders as you breathe out. And we're going to imagine a square. So just picture a square in your mind. I know that those of you who are regular to my Thursday class will know this square breath, where we breathe in as we picture ourselves traveling up the left-hand side of that square. You might like to breathe in for a count of 2 or 3 or even 4. And then retain the breath at the top there. So hold the breath as you move, your mind's eye moves along the top of that square. And then as you breathe out, your mind's eye is traveling down the right-hand side of that square. When there's no air in your body, then you've breathed out. We travel along the bottom of that square, just sitting with no breath for a while until we begin to breathe back in, up the left-hand side of that square. If that doesn't work for you, just continue to breathe normally, focusing on sending the breath as deep down as you can, just a slow, regular inhale and exhale. But perhaps give that square breath a go this morning. You might like to count your inhale, your exhale, and then those holds at the top and the bottom of your breath. I'll count a couple of rounds and then leave you to it for a couple of rounds so you can do your own thing. If your breath is at a different pace to mine, don't worry about it. So inhaling, moving up the left, 2, 3, and hold the breath along the top of that square. Then breathing out, 2, 3. Don't breathe in again as you move along the bottom of the square, then breathe in, 1, 2, 3, hold the breath, and out, 2, 3. Imagine travelling along the bottom of that square and then breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Allowing you to just take that square, regular breath with those inhales and exhales just for a few rounds yourself. Relax the tummy as you breathe, just allowing it to fill up with air. And then relax the shoulders as you breathe out. Each exhale inviting another layer of release into the body. If you're retaining the breath at the top of your inhale and at the bottom of your exhale, just notice those calm points in the breath where you're not actually focusing on breathing, but rather either holding the breath or sitting with no air. Just those really calm points at either end of the breath. If that doesn't work for you, holding the breath, then just return to a steady inhale and exhale. And we'll do 2 more rounds of that breath. Lovely. Then if you had your eyes closed, you might like to gently begin to open them. Come back into the room. Keep that lovely steady breath going if you have tuned into that breath now. Don't let that go to waste. Keep that going through your practice, and in moments of stillness we'll come back to that breath through the practice. Notice how you feel now after breathing and sitting still like that for a moment. Take a really big breath in and a big sigh out. Let it go, let the shoulders relax. Then inhale, draw the shoulders up to the ears. As you exhale, let them relax. Next time you inhale, send the arms wide and up overhead. You might like to look up. As you breathe out, send them back out the way, back into that. We'll do that a couple of times. Inhaling. As you breathe out, stretching away from you. Big breath out. Lovely. Inhale. One more. Exhale, stretching away from you. Come back to sitting up straight. So reminding yourself to have that good posture, sitting slightly forward on the chair. Going to begin stretching through the body and begin with the feet up through the whole body, just so that you know what's happening here. So looking down at your feet, just rise up onto tiptoes for now. And then drop to the heels and lift all 10 toes or the front part of your feet right up. And do that a few times. Keep the breath going as you do this. So breathing in and out, moving through the feet and really feeling that connection that we spoke about at the beginning of the class, your feet and the ground there. Really pressing in with the heels as you lift your toes, and then pressing in with the toes as you lift your heels. Notice how that feels in your feet and the front of your legs. Lovely. And then we'll raise that right leg out in front of us. Point the toes away from you. See if you can still sit up straight. You might like to take hold of the bottom of the chair here. Big breaths in, and then begin to rotate that ankle. You can make these as small or big as you like. Do some smaller circles and then a few bigger circles, really feeling into that range of movement in your ankle. And then back the other way. You can involve the toes in this too, giving the toes a wee wiggle as you do this. You might already be feeling this in your leg, your hip, your abdominals, maybe even your lower back. So just make any adjustments in your sitting position to make sure you're comfortable here. Let's place that foot down. Give that knee a wee massage there, the back of the knee, the thigh, and then around that right hip as well. Lovely. We'll raise that left leg out in front of us this time, taking some circles in one direction. Involve the toes. Maybe feeling into that joint, increasing the size of those circles. Lovely. And then reversing that direction, going the other way. Pointing the toes away from you and then stretching them up. Lovely. Couple more big circles with that ankle. And then releasing that foot to the ground. A little massage of that knee, back of the knee, the thigh there, and round that hip. And then massage your lower back just at the back there. Give it a wee rub if you're not leaning back against the chair. Lovely. Bringing hands to rest again, and then sliding back in your chair so that your back is fully supported by the chair. We'll raise that right leg out again in front of us. Begin to engage your core muscles here. So tummy is drawing in, that tummy button drawing towards the back of the spine as you hold that leg up in front of you and flex the toes towards you, then point them away again. And then we'll take a few circles in either direction with this foot, with the toes pointed away. You can just allow your hands to be in your lap or just loosely at the side of the chair, taking hold of the bottom of the chair if you like. 2 more in that direction. Lovely. And then 6 back the other way. 2, 3, 4. This is my experiment. 5, 6. That was counting up the way. Relax that leg. Just take a big breath in and a sigh out. And then we'll raise that left leg, the opposite leg away from us. Point the toes away. Bring the toes back to us. Point them away again and then begin to circle in that direction. If you find this super hard, know that it won't last forever. Engage the core muscles here. So draw that tummy button in. You might be beginning to feel this in your hip. Maybe make a couple of slightly bigger, slower circles. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe because we're concentrating on something else. Lovely. And then 6 back the other way. You can do it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, And one more, well done. Let that foot come down to the ground. Take a relax. Big breath in and a sigh out. Let me know if you think it's easier if you count backwards or forwards when you're doing these countdowns on these tougher exercises. Lovely. Come to sitting back up straight, and we'll hug in that right knee towards us. A little bit of release for that hip there. This might look like this for you, really hugging the knee up high in towards you, or perhaps a lower hug, just drawing the knee up off the ground and holding the back of the thigh there. So do whatever feels right for your hip, for your leg, and then release it to the ground. And we'll do that with the opposite leg. A bit of a hug in with that knee, release for the hip. Well done. And then releasing that. So this time, make sure you're sitting up really straight. We're going to draw that right knee in again, hold on to it. Really straight here if you want that extra challenge. We've done this the last couple of weeks, so repetition is going to be building up these muscles. If you're doing this every week, maybe even practicing it in between times, let's stretch out that right arm. Keep that knee lifted. 3 breaths. And then keep that knee lifted. If you want that extra challenge, stretch out that left arm too. Sit up nice and straight. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Lovely. Release that leg. Come to sitting up straight again. Take a big breath in and a sigh out. And then we'll draw that opposite leg in. That left leg drawing in towards us. Hold it there. No pressure to do these extra challenges, but you can just stay here sitting like this or be taking your break, your rest. That's fine. Stretching out that left arm as you sit here. 3 breaths. Still drawing that leg in towards you. 3, lovely. If you want that extra challenge this morning, keep that knee lifted, send that right arm out as well. Sit up nice and straight, take 3 deep breaths. Well done, 1 more breath as you hold it here, well done, and release. Get a big breath in, lift the arms up ahead. As you breathe out, stretch forward, and we're going to round down over the legs. You can round down as much or as little as you like here. We're rounding out through the spine. Take a few deep breaths here into the tummy. Relax the tummy, relax the head and the neck, and then slowly begin to walk the hands back up the legs. Come back to sitting up straight. Well done. Another breath in with those arms going out. Look up. Bring palms together up overhead and then bring them back down to heart center. And sit up really nice and straight here so that we feel the crown of our head reaching up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And we'll relax the hands back into the lap. We're going to do a hip opening exercise here. So if you have any issues with your hips or this feels painful in any way, then just sit this one out. Take a break. Move your block or your book away. Come forward to the edge of your chair, so that your left foot is really on the ground. And we're going to bring our right foot up and across that thigh, opening up that right hip. Keep those right toes flexed up towards the knee, a good flex in that foot, and sit up nice and straight. You might want to stay here, but if you're enjoying that hip opening stretch, you can feel that on the outside of your right hip here. You might like to lean forward a little. Really nice flat back there. And just notice how that changes the feeling of that stretch. Keep your deep breath going here. That lovely steady breath. Imagining that you're sending that oxygen that's coming into your body into that right hip joint there as it's stretching out. Lovely. Inhale, back up to sitting if you were leaning forward a little, and then just support that leg down, that right foot coming to connect with the ground. Sit up nice and straight. We'll bring that left leg up, that ankle crossing over the thigh, and then keeping that big flex in that left foot. Don't worry if this isn't going to work for you, for your hip. Just be sitting, concentrating on your breath, enjoying the moment of rest. If you really enjoy this hip opening, you might feel that in your left hip now. Sit up nice and straight. To intensify that stretch, a little lean forward with a very flat back. Almost pivoting from your hips as you do this. And notice how that changes the stretch. Go really straight back, draw the tummy in, those core muscles engaged to protect your lower back. A few steady breaths here. If you feel that you've gone too far into this stretch and it begins to feel painful at all, just ease yourself back out of it slowly. In any event, on your next inhale, draw yourself back up to sitting, and we'll release that foot to the ground. Just give a little wiggle, a sway of the knees from side to side, releasing any tension in the hips. Well done. And then as you're sitting far forward on your chair here, just leaning back against the chair, but really drawing your core muscles in this time. So drawing that tummy button in, engage your pelvic floor as well. So these are the deep down core muscles here. Engage those muscles, engage the slightly higher core muscles all around your abdomen. And then begin to point both toes away from you, stretching out the legs, feet raised from the floor. If you want a more intense stretch, you can raise your arms out ahead of you as well. You can even raise your arms up overhead and feel the length down the front of the body here as your core muscles are really engaged. Take a few breaths here, whichever option feels right for your body. Holding everything out, using those core muscles to hold yourself here. Well done. And relax. Take a breath for a moment. And we're going to come back into that. So stay with your upper back resting on the back of your chair. Your lower back is forward in the chair. Raise the toes away from you again. Heels off the floor. And this time we're going to scissor the legs. You can take whichever arm option feels good for you. Stretching the arms out away ahead of you, which I personally like, or stretching them up overhead of you, which will move your core muscle attention up the body here. And then begin to scissor the legs. So a bit tough this, but keep these muscles all engaged here. Pelvic floor, core muscles, lovely. Slow that down, another little round. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Relax the legs. Come to sitting back up straight, carefully for your lower back. Big breath in as you raise your arms up. As you breathe out, stretching forward, rounding down over the legs. This for you might look quite upright, or you might like to come right down over the legs. Allow your tummy to completely relax. Take a couple of deep breaths here into that lower abdomen. Allowing your tummy to connect with the top of your thighs and really giving it a rest. So relax your shoulders, your head, your neck. And then slowly begin to walk hands up the legs. Come to sitting back up straight. And we'll take a little bit more movement for the spine. So the cat-cow movement that we do. I'm going to do this sideways so that you can see what I'm doing here. As we breathe in, we're looking up and opening that front part of the chest. Gentle back bend. As we breathe out, Rounding out through the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. So you'll need to be away from the back of the chair for this one. We move with our breath, so breathing in, sitting up really straight, looking up. As we breathe out, rounding out through the spine, tucking the tailbone, drawing the tummy in, rounding out through the upper back and dropping the chin to the chest. And then continue to move with your breath, but making this movement as small or as kind of grand as you like here. So you can even involve your arms if you're really enjoying that. Opening up sensation, drawing everything back in as you breathe out. And trying to invite movement into our spine that encourages our vertebrae to move as separately as we can. So for you this morning, this might be a very gentle movement. Just an opening of the chest as you sit up a little straighter, and a gentle rounding out through the spine, a relaxing of the shoulders, dropping the chin to the chest. Please don't move in any way that is painful to you this morning, that's going to cause you pain. It's all right to hold poses if they feel a little uncomfortable for your body. That's what we're doing. We're training our muscles, and we're also training ourselves to sit perhaps on a bit of resilience, knowing that we can cope with a bit of discomfort and it's not going to last forever. But we don't want to go over that point with our bodies physically where it moves into a place of pain. So listen to your individual body here. Lovely. One more round of that, and then come to sitting up straight. We'll bring our left hand to the outside of the right leg here. Breathe in to stretch up. As we breathe out, little lean over to the left. Keep that right shoulder as open as you can. If you have this elbow bent because it's too much for your shoulder to stretch up, that's fine. Or just lean over all the same, feeling that space in the right hand side of the body. Inhale back up to sitting, and we'll swap that over. So right hand comes the outside of the left leg. Inhale. As we breathe out, little lean over to the right. Left shoulder stays open. Feel that space down the left hand side of the body as you keep breathing here. Well done. Inhale back up to sitting, and we'll take a twist for the spine. Again, let's make this as gentle as suits your body. So breathing in first to find real length in the spine, sitting up nice and straight. As we breathe out, turning the whole upper body to the right, bringing hands to the outside of that right leg. You might even like to hold on to the back of the chair with that right arm to draw you round even further. But just check in with your spine and your body to make sure that's the right thing for you to do. Couple of breaths here as we draw that navel in towards the spine, tummy button coming in. As you breathe out, relax the shoulders. And then come slowly back through center. Take a breath in the center there just to steady yourself. Another big breath in to find length in the spine. As you breathe out, turning to the left there. Sitting up as nice and straight as you can. This twist coming from the middle of the spine. That cervical spine. Maybe even taking hold of the chair with that left arm, but no pressure to do this. Draw the tummy in here. Give yourself some space in the middle of your body. As you breathe out, relax into the twist. Relax your shoulders. Well done. And then breathing in, come back gently through center. Another big breath in as you stretch your arms wide and up. As you breathe out, leaning forward, rounding down over the legs. And then walking your hands back up the legs, coming back up to sitting up straight. Well done. We're going to try a little standing pose here, but if you are in a wheelchair or unable to stand, don't worry, there is an option for seated. So what we're going to do is our tree pose. It's a balancing pose. And balancing is really utilising all of these core muscles that we've just worked on a little before we did the spinal movements. We were working on our core. We're going to really use those core muscles now to do a little bit of balancing. If you want to remain seated for this, that's fine. Stretch out one leg. We can do a tree pose sitting in the chair. Sit really far forward. Stretch out a leg, flex the toes towards you, and then either bring the sole of that right foot to the shin, just really resting it lightly on the shin, so not pressing, definitely not pressing on the knee anywhere. If that's too much, keep the toes on the ground. So lift the heel of that right foot off the ground, keep the toes on the ground. Bring your palms together at heart center and sit yourself up as straight as you can, holding yourself there. Take a little break for a moment while I stand up and explain what we're going to do if we are standing today. So standing to one side of your chair with your feet about hip distance apart and really engaging all the muscles through the center of your body. So feel your feet on the ground as you stand here like this. For a moment, not holding onto the chair, just bring your arms beside your body, and you can do this if you're sitting in the chair as well. Palms face forward, sitting up nice and straight. If you're standing, just rocking slightly forward and backwards as you begin to engage these core muscles. So drawing your pelvic floor, your tummy muscles in, and your glute muscles in your bum. Once you've got that center of gravity, that feeling that you're standing quite strong, just standing here, allow your shoulders to relax, the crown of your head to feel as if it's drawing up towards the ceiling. So you're as tall as you can be with this tummy drawn in. Well done. Then take hold of the chair with that left hand. Bring the right hand onto the chest or tummy here, and then begin to shift your weight into the leg that is nearest to the chair. So for me, that's my left leg. We're going to begin to rely less on the weight on that right foot and bring that up, bring onto the toes. You can even, if you have no issues with your hips, send that knee a little out to the side. Maybe even bring that foot up completely off the ground onto the side of the shin, just for a few breaths. Keep standing really tall. If you're enjoying this, we've got the sole of the foot on the shin, not on the ankle and not on the knee, just slightly on the shin. If it feels too much, bring the knee in, toes back down to the ground. And then we're going to try a little balance. So really engaging these core muscles, tucking the tailbone under, drawing in the glutes, the abdominal muscles. You might like to try just letting go of the chair, even just for a moment. If you really enjoy this, you can bring palms together at heart center and just know that you're standing on one leg for a moment. Well done. Take a big breath in and then release everything down. Give the legs a little shake out, and we'll try that on the other side of the chair. So just moving to the other side. Or if you're sitting in your chair, stretching out that other leg, toes flexed towards you. Bent leg, coming up onto the toes there, hands coming together, palms together at heart center as you sit yourself up as straight as you possibly can. Maybe even bringing the sole of that foot to connect with the shin of that straightened out leg, and feel all those muscles in your leg and your core engaged as you sit up really straight here. This is your seated tree pose. and pretty much as beneficial as your standing one actually. So either option is fine. But coming to the other side of your chair, taking hold of the chair, finding that center of gravity first where you're standing really tall, all these core muscles engaged. Taking hold lightly of the chair and then relying less on the weight on that outside foot. Bringing the sole of the foot to the shin. Bring that knee in if it feels too much for your hip. And maybe you might like to try letting go of the chair just for a moment. I wish I could see you all. Perhaps even bringing palms together, that heart center there, and holding yourself there. Thinking to yourself, I am standing on one leg. Even if you've just let go of that chair for a moment, all your core muscles are engaging. Embrace any wobbling that's going on because that means your core muscles are all working super hard to hold you upright as well. Big breath in and release that foot. Give it a good shake out. Well done. We'll take a roll down now from standing or sitting. So if you're still standing and you're enjoying standing, breathing in, arms wide and up overhead, look up. As you breathe out, bend into your knees and begin to roll your spine down. Coming all the way down, folding over the legs. Allowing your tummy to relax here at the bottom. Drawing it in slightly to give yourself more space and allowing your head and your neck to hang heavy. If you're seated in that forward fold, then everybody beginning to walk their hands up the legs as you uncurl your spine, coming back up to seated, up straight or standing straight. When you get here, just take for a moment that mountain pose. That standing pose where you feel that center of gravity, feet rooting down into the ground, or if you're sitting, still have your arms down beside you, palms face forward. Maybe close down your eyes for a moment and just notice how you're feeling now after stretching like that, using your core and balancing. Lovely. And then come to sitting back down onto the chair with the block. We're going to do some arm exercises now and shoulders, little work for the shoulders before we finish. But if you're still standing and you prefer to stand, then that's absolutely fine. Keep going because we're working on just this area now. If you're sitting, come forward on your chair. Just have your feet grounded. Take a couple of breaths as you rotate your shoulders forward a couple of times and then back the way. Well done. And we'll take some circles with each arm now. So you can, sitting up straight, take a big circle with the whole arm. But option, if this is too much for your shoulder, is to bring your fingertips to your shoulder and take some circles with the elbow. So do whichever option is right for your body. I'm going to take the big circles today because I have been doing a bit of gardening and I am a little bit stiff, so this will do me a lot of good. So one more circle that way and then we'll turn the direction, raising it up the back and out. Breathe out as you bring that arm forward. Well done. So keep that steady breath going. One more on that side. And then we'll take that on the other side. So whichever option you're taking, that gentler option for the shoulder or the big full circles. Breathing in as the arm comes up and out as it comes down. Lovely. One more. And then we'll reverse that direction. So breathing in as the arm comes up the back, out as it comes down at the front. You can connect your breath in just the same way if you're taking that gentler option with fingertips to the shoulder. Well done. Breathing in and out. And then release both hands. Another couple of shoulder shrugs there. Well done. And then breathing in, send both arms up. As you breathe out, send them away from you, out to the side, stretching away. Really engage your hands here. Spread fingers wide as they come up, out as they come down. Well done. Breathing out, breathing in and out. Well done. Allow the hands to rest. Actually, we'll take some circles with the wrists. Just involve the fingers in this as well. Releasing any tension in the wrists there. And then give the hands a good shake. Allow hands to come back to the lap. So still sitting up nice and straight here. Tummy muscles just lightly engaged. We'll begin to take some circles with the nose. So releasing tension in the neck and really feeling into your neck here. So noticing any little areas of tension or knots as you take these circles. You can make the circles quite small to begin with and then increase the size if that feels good for your neck. Lovely, and then no rush to get here, but the next time that your chin is down at your chest, we'll leave it there for a moment, sitting up nice and straight and feeling that length in the back of the neck. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, begin to just take small circles back in the other direction. So again, lifting the head a little more each time, increasing the size of these circles. And keep the breath going here. So you might like to even connect the breath to the movement by breathing in as your head comes up and out as it comes down the other side. Taking a few big mindful circles with the breath. You can even close down your eyes as I have, just to bring that focus inward a little more. Lovely, one more big circle and then we'll rest with our chin down on our chest when it gets there, sitting up nice and straight. Clasp your hands in front of you and just draw them away from you. Really feel that space in the back of the body there between the shoulder blades. Imagine that you're sending the next couple of breaths into that space in the upper back, chin to chest. And then release hands, slowly bring the chin back up. You might like to open your eyes and take hold of the back of the chair. You need to be sitting quite far forward in the chair to do this. If this feels too much, just take hold of the bottom of the chair here. We're going to open up that front part of the body. Really opening up that chest and sending the breath this time into the front space in the chest. Looking slightly up ahead of you this time. A couple of big breaths. And then release that. Come to sitting back up straight. Bring hands to heart center and we'll breathe in to send them up. Big breath in, release them down to the heart center again. Take a big breath in and then sit back in your chair. So allow your legs to come out. Rest back in the chair here so that you are completely comfortable where you're sitting. So allow your knees a little wobble from side to side. Just release any tension there. Maybe nod your head a couple of times and allow your chin to come down towards your chest. Palms can be face down or face up as you just relax your arms. Relax your shoulders. You might like to close down your eyes or just really soften your gaze down to the ground in front of you. And we're going to take a couple of moments of complete relaxation here. So it's tricky perhaps where you are. Each of us will be in a different situation, but you almost need to give yourself this permission to rest at the end of your practice. You've stretched your whole body. I hope that feels good for you. And now allow your body just to enjoy a couple of moments of complete relaxation. Take a big breath in and a sigh out. And then allow your breath to be very gentle. Allow your tummy muscles, which we've worked quite hard on today, to completely relax. And just sit here peacefully. I will let you know when it's time to come out of this, so don't worry that I'm going to leave you here forever. You might like to be here for the rest of the day, but just a couple of moments of intentional rest. Just very gently begin to bring your focus back into the room that you're in and allow your breath to deepen gradually. Take a little bit of gentle movement with your fingers, your toes, maybe turning the wrists and the head from side to side. And then working up, take a big stretch through the whole body, almost as if you're waking up for the first time today. You don't need to open your eyes yet if they're closed. But take a really big breath in down the length of the whole body. And then as you release that breath, come to sitting up straight in your chair one last time. Make sure you're comfortable, just sitting up straight. And bring hands together at heart center just to finish our practice. You can still have your chin slightly down towards your chest. Just take a moment of calm here before you go back into the rest of your day. Notice how you feel at the end of this practice. And know that you can come back to this feeling of calm anytime that you need it. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you have any questions, let me know, but otherwise enjoy the rest of your days. Namaste. Thank you. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions about the class or if there's anything you particularly enjoyed or would like to do again or differently. And I hope to see you all next week. Love to you all, stay well, and special hello to anybody from the regular Thursday class that's joining us. This whole technology thing is crazy, isn't it? But I hope that you are enjoying connecting through this class and other classes through Be Healthy Together at the moment. And yeah, see you soon. Okay, bye-bye everybody.